Titanic is one of the most popular and beloved movies of all time. It's an epic triumph by the screenwriter and director James Cameron, who managed to handle the pressure of a constantly growing budget, a tight shooting schedule, and negative pre-release press. What's wonderful about Titanic, even in 2021, it looks stunningly good. While many of us have probably watched the 195-minute classic more than once, there are details in the film that are hard to catch even after multiple viewings, let alone the first. Only by carefully examining each frame of Cameron's creation can you see the small details deserving significant attention. Let's take a look at a few examples. Happy reading. 1. The departure of the Titanic was filmed in mirror image. One of the most impressive scenes of the film occurs long before the dark night of the Titanic. In this scene, the ship majestically departs from the Southampton dock. Behind the scenes, the filming crew faced a challenge due to the continuous wind, which carried smoke from the Titanic stacks not toward the stern, as captured in the historical photo from 1912, but toward the bow. It was decided to build the set for the right side of the ship, and the actual shoot turned out to be mirror reverse. To understand the Titanic effort the filming crew had to put in, consider that everything in the frame had to be mirrored. Inscriptions, clothing details, and more. 2. Jack won the game anyway. Jack's journey aboard the Titanic begins after he wins 2 third-class tickets in a poker game. The scene is set up to imply that Jack wins only after the arrival of the necessary card, but a quick look at the player's hands reveals that the guy has already won. Sven had only a pair of 8s and 6s, and Jack's hand clearly surpassed hers, being just 1 card away from a full house. In the end, we got an acceptable over-dramatization. However, the general audience is not too knowledgeable about poker, so this detail is easily missed. 3. Out of focus in the bow scene, the moment when Jack and Rose stand at the bow of the ship, savoring the sunset and sharing a kiss, is one of the most iconic scenes in the movie. It's no wonder that viewers were so captivated by it that they didn't notice a basic technical error until the camera zoomed in. The picture was slightly out of focus. In Cameron's defense, the scene was shot under very specific conditions, allowing literally 5 minutes a day to attempt a successful take. When the sky cleared after numerous unsuccessful attempts, Cameron hastily assembled the crew, pulled Winslet out of the makeup room, and managed to shoot the scene just in time before the clouds covered everything again. Cameron got the sunset he wanted, even though the picture quality suffered slightly. However, during the first, second, and even third viewing, almost no one will notice. 4. 1912 scenes last exactly as long as the Titanic sank. Although the runtime of Titanic is an impressive 195 minutes, the 1912 scenes take up 160 minutes. It remains only to guess whether Cameron planned this or it happened by chance, but the sinking of the Titanic took exactly the same amount of time. However, considering the cutscenes, it's more likely that it happened accidentally. 5. The car Jack and Rose hid in appeared earlier in the film. Another well-known scene shows Jack and Rose hiding in a car and enjoying each other's company. Observant viewers might have noticed that the car they hid in appeared earlier in the film. It was loaded onto the Titanic just before Rose boards the ship with her mother and fiancé. The red car is clearly visible in the foreground. 6. The use of mirrors in the boiler room. Even in today's viewing of Titanic, the scale of the shooting locations is impressive. This is especially true for the depths of the ship, where we are occasionally shown ordinary workers shoveling coal into the furnaces. But oddly enough, the set is not as vast as it seems. Cameron strategically placed giant mirrors in the center to make the boiler room look much deeper. As Cameron demonstrated, sometimes the best solutions are actually simple and practical. 7. Jeanette Goldstein and her tale. Jeanette Goldstein appeared in several James Cameron films, including playing John Connor's foster mother in Terminator 2. In Titanic, she once again took on the role of a mother portraying an Irish immigrant who tells a sad story to her children, realizing they are about to drown. One detail is connected to this tale. We hear the end of the story when the mother says, "And so they lived happily together for 300 years in the land of Tir-na-nog, eternal youth and beauty." At first glance, it seems like a random fairy tale the mother used to comfort her children. However, Tir-na-nog is an important city in Celtic folklore that can only be reached underwater. So, her tale is an allegory for the impending disaster. 8. Rose floats on a door frame, not a door. The most debated aspect of the film, endlessly discussed to this day, revolves around the question: could Jack and Rose have both fit on the door and survived? Numerous arguments have been made both in favor and against this question. However, a small but crucial detail has been overlooked, rendering all discussions meaningless. Rose didn't float on a door. The piece of wood on which Rose found safety is referred to as a first-class saloon door. But if you refer to photographs of the real Titanic, it's evident that it's a door frame. 9. The film indirectly touches on the story of Charles Tiffin. I believe many viewers remember a character not by name, but by his actions. Charles Tiffin, the man who, during the climax of the Titanic sinking, takes swigs from a flask of liquor. Some might see this character as Cameron's invention, but he actually paid homage to one of the most remarkable stories associated with a survivor of the real Titanic. Charles Tiffin was a chef who spent 2 hours in icy water but escaped with minimal consequences. He attributed his miraculous survival to consuming the same drink just before the ship sank. 10. Time. In the final scene, Titanic concludes with an incredibly beautiful scene where we take one last journey through the ship. The journey ends near the Titanic's main staircase, where Jack and Rose reunite amid the applause of those who couldn't survive. As most viewers are busy wiping away tears at that moment, it's easy to overlook the time displayed on the clock on the staircase, 2 hours and 20 minutes. This is the time when the Titanic sank.